Misty, would you take the roll, please?
David Burris. Wes Grimes.
Present.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Lukens.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Frank Romy.
Here.
Caitlin Turner. Here. Thank you.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
You have to go up and check, yes. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Always remember conflict of interest. If there's anything that you're uncomfortable voting on or you have a conflict, please let the rest of the council know before the vote. I'm going to need a motion to approve the agenda, but we have a couple, actually have some changes to it. Under bills in between, the amount will change from $93,393.13 to $93,733.78. Current claims, the accounts payable will change from $200,368.52 to $192,368.52. Did I get those correct, Misty?
Yes, you did.
And the accounts payable, the change in that is on page 2 of your packet. It's the Meyer Henry Sargent Services. Those were removed from the payments. And I believe that's, yep, that's it.
A motion to approve the agenda with the so noted amendments.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the December 21st council meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 21st City Council.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve the bills in between. New amount, $93,733.78.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in between for the amount of $93,733.78.
Second.
Misty, I believe you handed out a new bills in between. If you just brief the council on the changes, please.
The change is the result of $340.65 for retirement benefits, not calculated in the first payroll calculation.
I don't think your mic's on.
It's not on.
Here's an extra click.
Can you hear me better now? It is the result of $340.65 of retirement benefits that weren't calculated in the initial payroll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the current claims and the 2020 accounts payable, new amount, $192,368.52.
Make a motion to approve current claims for $151,224.01 and the 2020 accounts payable for $192,368.52.
Second motion.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. I need a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card, please.
I would make a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims in the amount of $6,769.82.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Our next agenda item is a quarterly update from Don Johnson, Public Public Library. And Don, we do have a 7:10 bid opening.
I'm gonna try to go fast.
All right.
A goal. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I didn't get to the last meeting as planned, but I am here ready to go this time around. I have 3 things I want to talk about tonight. One, what last year turned out being, what we plan on doing in the future, and then I want to talk about our being a star library this year. Last year, of course, with the COVID, we were closed for April, May, June, basically 4 months. So the numbers that we have are not surprising. Our patron count was down 48% for being closed 4 months. We're down 48% on people walking in the building. But our checkout was only down 30%. So even though they weren't walking in the building, they were checking things out. Our Wi-Fi usage, I'm short December's. I haven't got that off the computer yet. It wasn't available for me. But we're down about 50% as far as people using the outside Wi-Fi. Our computer use, that's people walking in and sitting down and using our computer, is only down about 35% for us being closed. When we did open up, they came in and started using it again. Our website hits, people going to our website and checking things out and seeing what they can find, was actually up 20%. So while they were home, they were looking at what the library was up to. And that goes with our ebook checkouts. Our ebook checkouts grew to almost 15% while we were closed. So it went from being 7,000 in 2019 to over 9,000 in 2020. So we're excited that people are utilizing the ebooks. Of course, our visits and our meetings were down 60% and 82% as far as people using our meeting rooms and the attendance for those. We really only had 2 programs at the library this year. One was the 4 Tuesdays for summer reading, and then we had our poetry meeting in November. So obviously our events are way down. And our new cards that we gave out was, we only gave out 232 cards this year, which is down about 40% from last year. But we're really hopeful for the future. We're picking up slowly but surely. Every week we see our numbers picking up, more people coming in, more people doing more things. Our story times that we're doing all the programs that we always do across the board. Our preschool story time has been historically running between 25 and 30 kids on Thursday mornings. So people are getting out and coming to the library. I'm still running across people that are like, "Are you guys open yet?" And we're like, "Yes, we are." So I don't quite know how to get that back out in the public that we are open again. We're looking real hopeful. We're sure that we're planning on having the same summer reading program in June like we always had with the 4 weeks of 44 class sessions. We're gonna do our best to plan to get things back up and going again, and make our numbers equally as good as it has been in the past. As far as money, we are not a for-profit part of the city, but we do bring in approximately $10,000 every year. In 2019, we actually brought in $13,000. This year, we only brought in $9,000, which was a 20% shortage than usual. But hey, with that, we didn't charge any fines or late fees starting in March because of the COVID. For people, they can just, whenever they got out, they could bring their stuff in and drop it off. We do have a quarantine program that we're going through where it sits for anywhere from 1 to 3 days before we handle it and clean it. And in that, you could drop something off and we might not touch it for 3 days. So we didn't feel it was fair to charge anyone overdue fees for anything when it could not. It's possible that they did have it in on time. So we didn't charge any late fees this year. So I'm sure that's where our deficit was in collecting money. The last thing I have is We have once again made the American Library Association Star Library list. The numbers that they used to figure out whether we're a star library or not came from the reports that I turned into the state of South Dakota in 2018. They add that all up, they divide it, they do what they do. I gave John a printout of the algorithm that they use if anybody wants to really figure out what they do.
Don?
Yes.
To give you an opportunity to answer the many questions that are going to come from the council, why don't we take a pause? At 7:10, we'll open up this bid, and then we'll get right back to you. We have a 7:10 bid opening for the log pile at the Southern Hills Golf Course. Received one bid. From Roland Ted Wick. My bid for the pile of surplus logs on the west side of the grain cart shed at the Hot Springs Golf Course is $55. Golf course committee isn't going to meet for a while. Not sure what else we can do with the logs. Are we in a position to accept the bid, Misty, or do we need to have that on the next agenda?
Council can accept the bid tonight if they feel like it. We received one bid, they'll remove the logs. You can table it if you'd like as well.
Council, what's your preference?
I make a motion, we accept the bid.
Second.
Discussion?
Does any part of the city burn wood? Library or anything that have fireplace?
No, it's a gas fireplace.
I take it city don't burn wood?
Street shop don't burn wood no more? Used to, yes, not. That's a little different.
I think it's worth it to just get it cleaned up.
Any other questions? All in favor of accepting the bid from Roland Ted Wick for the golf course log pile for the sum of $55? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roland bought himself a pile of logs. All right, Don. Thank you for your patience.
Whenever we received this word 2 years ago, it was the first time that we'd ever gotten it, so we were quite surprised, and quite frankly, we were surprised again to see our name in here, because we feel that we provide customer service to our patrons the best we can every day. So what makes the difference between 1 year and the next, we're not quite sure. We simply do our best every day, and sometimes it shows up as an award. When 2 years ago this is divided by budgetary income, how much budget we have. When we got it 2 years ago, we were at the very bottom, the last one on the list. This time around, we're smack dab in the middle, working our way up. What they do, just the simple one, is they take our, the area that we serve, which is the city of Hot Springs, and when I turned this in, our census was 3,460, and then the things that I turn in is how much circulation do we have, how many visits do we have, how many e-materials get checked out. They do whatever the algorithm is, and it comes up that physical circulation based on our population, everyone checks out 14 items a year. So, and that's very good considering we have 3,400 people. Everyone checks out 1.6 e-items, e-materials. They visit the library 13.86 times. They attend programs 0.82. They use public computers 5.68 times, everyone in our community. Now, obviously, that's not everyone in this, they count everyone in the city limits because that's our service area, but we serve a lot of people, I mean, a third of our people that we serve live outside of the city limits. And our Wi-Fi sessions, everybody in the city uses the Wi-Fi 5.88 times, and which gives us a rating of 1805. Get the bifocals right. Gives us a rating of 1805. Like I said, I'm not sure how they define it from one year to the next. We do our best every day to take care of everyone that walks in the building. And we make phone calls all over the community to find out how we can get the answers they're looking for. We sit down one-on-one and help them with computers, whatever it takes to provide the service that they came in looking for. So we have no idea what this will look like next year. There are libraries around our nation that close their doors in March and haven't opened them. They're not providing curbside service, they're not providing anything. We have libraries around the nation that never did close their doors. They're, like we did for the 4-month period. So I just don't even have any idea what this ratio thing is going to look like the next few years, but my library staff and I will continue to serve our public as best we can.
The ability to track and count the Wi-Fi and the e-circulation led to the increase in the distribution from the reporting period. Right?
Yes, we got a new program 2 years ago. It's called Who's Wi-Fi, and it picks up on, if you walk in with your cell phone and look at something, it picks up on it and counts it. It's a library program provided actually by the state of South Dakota.
So prior to that, we couldn't count that or add that into those figures?
No, we just kind of went, how many people do you think walked in with their laptops and used their phones today? That kind of a count. But now on Saturday, when you go by and you see people in the parking lot, it's hitting our Wi-Fi and our Wi-Fi counter. So we're providing services even though we're not there to actually do it. And fortunately, the ebook program that we're on, South Dakota Titles to Go, they recognized the need whenever COVID hit, and they upped how many books you could check out and upped their services for the state of South Dakota. So that was really nice that they were able to meet our needs that way.
Thanks for what you do, Dawn.
Thank you. If anybody needs a copy of anything, if John doesn't have it, give me a holler and I'll make sure that you get any information that you're looking for. Thank you.
Don?
Thanks so much.
Couple of questions, Don.
Yes.
Comparing the Hot Springs to Black Hills and South Dakota as a whole, was the library operating about the same as everybody else? I know for a while you were doing curbside pickup and then began opening up slowly again.
Yeah, we were, based on the libraries that were, Hill City, Custer, Rapid City, whatever, we're all kind of in the same boat, and we actually did a lot of communicating with each other as far as what are you going to do, how are you going to clean, what kind of paperwork are you using to do this. And we were comparable with providing services, curbside, delivery, that kind of thing. So and Misty saw it, we just got a thing in one of our library catalogs yesterday, how long everything stays yucky with COVID. A book, the pages stay yucky for 3 days, the covers stay whatever for whatever. And we've been in this for 9 and 10 months now, and they finally came up with something in writing, a guideline that we can follow. It caught everybody off guard. They didn't even know. We're just all making this up as we went along for a while.
After you opened up, did the usage of the library begin to pick up at all? Are you seeing more towards the end of the year, people using the library?
We've seen a steady pickup since we opened 6 months ago. We opened and there was just, a handful of people came in the first few days, but we're slowly and steadily getting up towards our regular numbers, which we figure between 150 and 200 a day. We're sitting at 125, 130 a day coming in, so it keeps building.
Good. Anything else?
I just think it'll be, once we get the new city website up, I think being able to brag that 2 years in a row, we've made the top 15 list in our budget category.
Yes.
That's pretty good bragging rights for people that are looking to relocate, especially those that may have children or just want something quality in the community. This is certainly a plus for us, so
Yes.
good job.
Absolutely. They say that if somebody is looking at a town to move into your town, of course they're looking for job opportunities, but they want to know about the schools and the libraries. So the library is a big seller for people wanting to stay someplace.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Communications from the public, Fall River County Department of Equalization.
You get me.
Okay, all right. There's a free plastic bag at the microphone down there.
Do I need to?
No.
I'm just here if you have questions. I'm not presenting.
Okay.
So we can really just remove that, and then when we act on the ordinance, she can answer any questions.
All right. Well, that takes us to personnel.
Any other communications?
Yeah, any other communications from the public? Thank you, Deborah. Going once? All right. Personnel actions. Can we get a motion for personnel actions A through G?
I make a motion to approve personnel action items A through G.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next agenda item is first reading of ordinance 1223. Can I get a motion on that, please?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1223, an ordinance transferring 22 lots in Boulder Falls Edition from rural service district to urban service district.
Second.
That's the first reading of ordinance 1223. Any discussion? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Wes Grimes,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Bill Luken,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Craig Romy,
Yes.
Caitlin Turner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Takes us into our resolutions. Resolution, first one, 2021-1, 2021 salary and wage resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2021-1, the 2021 wage and salary.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next resolution, 2021-2.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-2, designation of depositories and official newspaper.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next resolution is 2021-3. Make a motion on that, please.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2021-3, the 2021 part-time and seasonal hourly rates of pay.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Takes us into our new business items. The first new business item, item A, is a possible motion and discussion to approve an amended 2021 emergency garbage service contract.
I'll make a motion to approve an amended 2021 emergency garbage service contract residential rate of $12.34 with previously approved offer. Standard sanitation recycling remains unchanged at $3.98.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, so I guess I want people to be clear, this means your garbage rate is gonna go up, correct? Along with your water and sewer.
The garbage portion will be going up, yes.
Water and sewer has a 1.9% increase each year also.
That's standard.
We were told it would be 1034 when we agreed upon this at the last meeting. So that's why I'm a little concerned. It went up to 1234 all of a sudden.
Yes, and Fred Folsom with Sanders is here to answer any questions along that line.
Yes.
Fred, if you could come up to the microphone, please.
We also ask that you put a plastic baggie over it before you.
You have one?
We do.
All right.
And then take it when you're done. You say your first and last name.
I think it needs turned on again.
Fred Folsom with Safe Sanitation. Here to answer any questions. Your question, Wes?
I was just curious, we kind of told at our last meeting it was going to be about 10 something, but now it jumped up to 12 something.
The original solicitation Mr. Gregory sent, it was, the verbiage that was used was to assume the existing contract. And the existing contract had renewal language. So this was bid with the expectation that this would be the potential of a 4-year agreement. Through the finalization process, it became understood that that was not going to be the case, that this truly was a 1-year contract. As a result, the capital risk for me changes drastically, and that's reflected with the $2 increase.
So potentially in a year from now, it could go up again.
Could go down. It's a competitive bid process. I gave the city the option of bidding it the way I understood it. The city did not interpret that the same way. Me and the mayor had a very vigorous discussion. And my position doesn't change. I bid it the way I understood it, and I bid it the way I understood it now. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I believe that it's still at this price was below bid.
Yes.
What do you mean, what are your risks?
It's a 1-year contract. I can lose it in a year.
Okay.
I'm deploying a lot of capital to provide the service. I was reached out to, and I assured the community representatives I interacted with, Mr. Gregory, Mr. Nelson, that I was ready, willing, and able to fulfill the obligation of the agreement, which I am. So I do have a risk. I do have a risk of losing this, and I'm making an investment in service in a year. There could be other bidders. It could be a totally different competitive bid process in a year.
Yeah, I had a lot of people call me over the weekend. They were concerned because they saw the recycling can going away. And I did not realize the contractor actually owns the recycling can. I thought the city owned all the cans.
No, not according to the contract.
And I got educated on that this morning, so and I understand. So there was a whole lot of confusion in there.
Are you a recycler, Mr. Grimes?
No,
Like I said, I make sure you got a recycling until you use recycling.
no, I didn't have answers until this morning.
Nope, those are contractor owned.
And to your question, Wes, about the 1-year contract, that was the discussion that, as a council, we talked about fulfilling the remaining year of with this contract and then going out for new bids after this contract was over. So as Fred said, looking at the contract, there's language in there that talks about the existing one, an opportunity for additional years, but there's also language that talks about going out for new bids at the end of this year. So in my conversations with Fred, my understanding of the council's wishes, they wanted this to be a one-year contract and go out for bids when this contract is over.
See, I didn't take it that way. I thought we were going to go into the 1 year with an automatic renewal for contract.
Okay, now you're illustrating a point. We're going into automatic renewals. That was my understanding of the agreement. Through discussion with the mayor, Mr. Gregory, that has not been the language that's been accepted by the council and their legal advice. This is a 1 year emergency RFP, and the rates that you have before you reflect that.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is. We gotta have service.
Well, you know, and I'm going to push back a little bit on this because, as I told the mayor, I'd be more than happy to haul your trash till you can find alternative arrangements. Okay, I want to be a partner with the community. I'm not opportunistic. I know what the other bids were. I'm not here to put a gun to the community's head. Okay, I want a long-term relationship with the city. Okay, and please take that. It's got to be win-win. If it's not a win-win arrangement, I prefer a no deal, truly. So if this truly represents a win-win from my side of the table. Okay, if there's any animosity from the council to how this came forward, I'm more than willing to help the city transition to another solution, absent of a contract. Okay, this isn't. I want to be clear, if there's any animosity, that gets vetted out tonight, because there's not. I'm moving in goodwill, good faith to provide a value service for the community. Reflective of now, it is a 1 year agreement. If I lose this contract in a year, it has not been a good deal for me. Okay? But my hope is that we build a long-term relationship. That's my hope.
Now, are you able to start tomorrow?
Unless you tell me you don't want me to.
Is it gonna be the same routes to the old garbage people, or?
Yes, it won't be the same garbage people,
Well, I know
but
that.
it'll be the same
I know
routes.
that. Okay. So it'll be the same day as what it used to be?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, your Tuesday, the maps that were given to me. So, and I just have maps, I don't have addresses. So we'll work through that as we move forward.
We appreciate the discussion and the explanation, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You won't have anybody work harder for you, and I will be available for anything that comes up. I look forward to serving you, the community of Hot Springs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fred, you'll begin municipal solid waste pickup tomorrow, and then begin also getting the recyclable containers out to the folks that are participating in that.
Correct. As we discussed, they'll have those by the end of the month. Some will get them sooner, but they'll definitely have them by the end of the month. And trash service will start tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So before you vote, the conversations that both Fred, John, and I had, I never got the feeling that Fred was trying to hold the city at hostage. He simply pointed out that because there's different interpretations in the contract and the language, that with it being a year to fulfill the emergency part of this, and going back out for rebids after that, he felt it was necessary to increase the amount that you had previously voted on. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you, Fred. New business item B, a possible motion discussion to confirm the intent of the council to cover the following police department reserve officers.
I'll make a motion to confirm the intent of council to cover the following police department reserve officers, unpaid volunteers for work comp purposes in 2021. Mark Hain, Darcy Engel, and Ryan Walls.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item C, possible motion discussion to renew the following municipal operating agreements for alcoholic beverage licenses.
I'll make a motion to renew the following municipal operating agreements for alcoholic beverage license holders for 2021. That's Dakota Mart, PL, Sunny Superfoods, PL, Yes Way number 1177, PL, American Legion, RL and RV, Winner's Circle, RL and RV, Bourbon County, RL, Frankie's Place, RL and RV, Woolies, RL, RV and RW, Red Rock River Resort, RR and RW, Big Bads LLC, RV, Big Time Pizza, RV and RW, Pizza Hut, RV, Dakota Mart Gas, RV, Dollar General, RV and RW, Corner Pantry number 11 and 11B, RV, Springs Restaurant, RV and RW, Buffalo Dreamer Restaurant, RV and RW, Family Dollar Store number 27126, RV and RW, HSP Loft Properties LLC, RV, and City of Hot Springs Southern Hills Pro Shop, RV and RW.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item D, a possible motion discussion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a 2-year Golf Now contract.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the 2-year Golf Now contract, trades up to 2 tee times per day during only designated time periods in exchange for the easy tee off, Golf Now point of sale and reservations products tabled from the December 7th meeting.
Second motion.
Discussion?
Yep, I gotta ask. What to find out?
Well, it went first through our municipal league, who their attorney gave us information that wasn't related to our question. So then it was passed on to me. Basically, I determined it's as part of our power to contract, we're allowed to trade. There's no provision prohibiting it in our statutes. I gave a fairly lengthy explanation to the mayor. I would say if you're going to provide that to council.
It was.
It was? Okay. So in my opinion, it's okay to do this contract.
Municipal League wouldn't give me an answer though.
It was actually the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance. They have a government practices hotline. The attorney was Marty Jackley. He provided an answer, which really didn't answer our question, and they only have 1 hour that they can provide. So then it went to government after that.
Yeah. It took me 2-3 hours of digging around trying to figure it out with the case law and the statutes. I didn't see anything that prohibited trade with municipalities. I think I noted there are several provisions in the statute that allows us to have control over our own property. We can consider this a lease. I wrote in my memo that we should just consider it a contract and that trade was permissible.
And in my discussion with the attorney from the public assurance folks, gave some codified law to reference and to give that off to our city attorney for further review. So that's what we did.
So, any city equipment we can trade off without having to put it up for sale?
No, there's surplus property laws that are different. So
You're talking to the mic.
Why is it different if you,
Because there's surplus property laws that tell you
Oh,
how
I
you
know
have to
that.
get rid of city equipment.
I'm
This is
asking
different.
what the difference is?
Well, if we wanted to lease our equipment, we would be allowed to.
We would? Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's specific very specific how things fall into place.
But leasing our equipment, we'd have to go with an operator. We couldn't just lease out a backhoe to anybody.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, I know that,
But, no, but yeah, as far as leasing, we're basically, so my memo I described, there's like, I think, I don't have it memorized off the top of my head, but one of the ways we could consider this contract is as a lease. That they're leasing, by us giving them tea times, they're basically leasing our property. I think it would fit under that, but my recommendation was to consider it a contract. Basically, we're exchanging property. And as far as we have our power to contract and our powers to control our own property, I felt it was, my opinion of this contract okay. Proceed as a contract. I think it would fit fine as a lease too, but I kind of felt that it fell more into the contract realm than a lease.
So if somebody wanted to lease down at the punch, we could trade them something.
Correct, I think, but, I mean, I don't know if it's in tonight, but we have the contract where we trade basically memberships for, lessons.
Yeah, we
Swim
have that
lessons.
in the evidence plate tonight.
One of the things I brought up too was the possibility of this fitting under what's called a sponsorship agreement. Several of the cities have it either in their ordinances or in their policies. Basically, it's just your trading. It's kind of like, Mueller Center. If we wanted to call it the Pepsi Center, they would give us money and then they could put their name on it. It's a trade. That's one route, and I gave a sample, I believe, of Sioux Falls or Mitchell. It was Mitchell's policy. Might be something. My understanding was the city, one of the committees considered it, but it didn't go anywhere. As far as previously considered a sponsorship agreement policy.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. New business item E, possible motion discussion to set election dates as June 8th, 2021.
Make a motion to set the election date as of June 8, 2021, and combine with the city or the Hot Springs School District.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item F, possible motion discussion to approve the 2021 parades.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 parades, the 4th of July Parade, Freedom Ride Parade, Hot Springs High School Homecoming Parade, December Parade of Lights, and the Hot Springs High School Graduation Parade.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item G, possible motion discussion to approve extending contract 2020-1 between the City of Hot Springs and Battle Mountain Humane Society.
Make a motion to approve extending contract 2020-1 between the City of Hot Springs and Battle Mountain Humane Society for animal boarding services in 2021, option year 1.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I had a question on that. So they take the animal in, put the animal in, put it up for adoption, but it says right here that even if it is up for adoption, the owner still has the right to come get the animal if it is up for adoption. And like you get the animal, you got the paperwork started, and the owner can step in at any time and get that animal. Is that what I'm reading here?
After 7 days, the animal belongs to Battle
Yeah,
Mountain.
because they're property.
Yes,
But
and then at that point, yes, if the owner would want to get the animal back, they would have to pay whatever fees a Battle Humane Society is put into the animal to adopt the animal.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was reading correctly. Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item H, possible motion discussion to approve extending contract 2020-2 between the City of Hot Springs and Teresa Moss.
I'll make a motion to approve extending contract 2020-2 between the City of Hot Springs and Teresa Moss for Police Department and City Hall cleaning services in 2021.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item I, possible motion discussion to approve extending contract 2020-3 between the City of Hot Springs and Jessica Luther.
Make a motion to approve extending contract 2020-3 between the City of Hot Springs and Jessica Luther for meter reading services to 2021.
Second.
Discussion?
How come this good body is there on this one too?
Because if we're just extending the contract that was signed last year when George was the mayor. Yeah, there's a note in the contract that says we can extend it if we agree, both parties agree, so that's what you're doing. And I just thought you might want to see what the contract said that you're extending. Good
Yep.
catch though, I miss that sometimes, so.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item J, possible motion discussion to approve contract 2021-4 between the Evans Plunge Mineral Springs and Lori McNair.
I'll make a motion to approve contract 2021-4 between Evans Plunge Mineral Springs and Lori McNair for fitness instruction at the Evans Plunge Mineral Springs facility.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item K, possible motion discussion to approve a 2020 automatic budget supplement.
Make a motion to approve a 2020 automatic budget supplement of $249,448.85 to the additional sales tax fund 212-21200-43300 for the Jennings Avenue Bridge construction reimbursement revenue received from big grant funding.
Second motion.
Discussion?
Yeah, how much money does that leave?
I think it's 89% complete, and then they still have the 10% retainage.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item L, possible motion discussion to authorize finance officer to transfer a 2020 subsidy.
I'll make a motion to authorize the finance officer to transfer the 2020 subsidy from 212 additional sales tax to 621 Evans Plunge in the amount of $125,000.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Is this payment or is this is another subsidy?
This covers the second payment in the 2013 sales tax revenue bond discussed paying as opposed to adding into the refunding.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item M, a possible motion discussion to approve a 2020 automatic budget supplement.
Make a motion to approve 2020 automatic budget supplement of $11,484 to general fund, mayor and council 101-41110-43400 for mayor and council laptop bag and necessary programs and software reimbursement revenue received from CRF grant funding in 2020.
Second.
Discussion?
Is packets gonna be on the laptop, or we still can get paper? Because I'm not very tech savvy.
We'd like everyone to transition to the laptops. We will work with anyone who's not able to access the information.
That's good, because I'll still like my packet.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. New business item N, possible motion to discussion to authorize the finance officer to transfer 2020 approved donation from the bid fund.
I'll make a motion to authorize the finance officer to transfer 2020 approved donation from the bid fund 213 to the general fund 101 in the amount of $1,500 used to support the purchase of one PD vehicle wrap.
Second.
Discussion?
Which vehicle are we wrapping now?
It was for the ones that we already voted to do, and if you remember, Wally, when he gave his bid report, said that they wanted to help with that. So it went towards the 4.
So this is already done?
Yep.
Okay.
This just allows me to move the money from their fund to.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item O, possible motion discussion to set a public hearing for February 21st at 7:10 p.m. February 1st, 2021 at 7:10 p.m. To discuss and possibly act on a petition to vacate an unused alley.
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for February 1st, 2021 at 7:10 p.m. to discuss and possibly act on the petition to vacate an unused alley legally described as East-West Platted Alley in Block 17, Fargo Premise Edition, Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, from Deborah Johnson, Frank and Lynn Mason, Vern Hagedorn, Randy Seiler, Shane and Lori Thielman, Lonnie Mueller, the City of Hot Springs, and Fall River County.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item P, possible motion discussion to set a public hearing on February 1st, 2021 at 7:20 p.m.
I would make a motion to set a public hearing on 2/1/21 at 7:20 p.m. for retail on-off sale wine and cider alcoholic beverage license application, Good Karma Couture LLC DBA Morning Sunshine, to be used at 509 North River Street.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item Q, possible motion discussion to reappoint Christine Heidebrink, Joni Hill, and Dwight Weenian to the Planning Commission.
Make a motion to reappoint Christine Heidebrink, Joni Hill, and Dwight Weenian to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 5-year term, 2021 to 2025.
Second. Discussion?
I'll abstain.
You know, I asked her a while back if we ever put an ad in the paper or anything, looking for any volunteers or anybody new that might want to be on there. I was just wondering if we've ever done that. We just felt it was a waste of money, or we just...
I believe the question was first posed to those who served because the commission feels like they're doing a good job and there were no openings. Everyone chose to extend their term or be reappointed.
Well, my point is most people, they never realize any of these terms ever come open. They just, until they read about it after the fact, so that's all I had.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item R, a possible motion and discussion to reappoint Joyce Farrell to the Cemetery Board.
Make a motion to reappoint Joyce Farrell to the Cemetery Board for a 5-year term from 2021 to 2025.
Second. Discussion?
I'll abstain from this as well.
I didn't get a second. Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're into committee reports. Administrative and Finance. Caitlin?
I was not here today, so Bill Lukens has graciously offered to read the minutes.
Okay, Admin Finance met today at 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center. Present were the mayor, Deb, myself, John, and Misty. Under old business, we talked about pending ordinances. And in the future, Misty, you may have to help me out if I didn't get this right down in my notes. We're going to consider passing them individually by chapter in order to stay with the one topic concept and also to keep things moving, as opposed to generating a resolution or grouping them together as we've done in the past. So as ordinance changes are completed, we'll start bringing those to council chapter by chapter. We talked a little bit about the potential commercial tenant at the airport, and I'll go ahead and talk about it now. A group representatives from City Hall, as well as the airport manager and a couple of folks from the Airport Advisory Committee will be meeting with Advanced Aerotech later on this month to define their specific needs, and so that then we can come up with an exact amount of floor space in the heated city hangar and a price per square foot that we would ask for that space. So that those negotiations are progressing. John talked about the power factor correction work to be done here at the Mueller Civic Center on the 30 kVAR capacitor bank. We have one quote in, and we're still looking to get at least 2 other bids. So that work can progress. We talked about the council and mayor laptops, and we've already actioned that item. To date, 4 of the 9 are in, and I believe are ready. 2 of the laptops are still on back. Misty went over her finance officer report, and she'll continue to discuss that later on in this meeting. She's still accepting applications for the admin assistant position. We're also looking at the Fall River County Highway Fuel System repairs agreement. Found out that there's an old agreement in place where we are sharing the maintenance cost of the fuel system at the county. So we're taking a look at that. That came to light when, if you remember, I think it was last council meeting's bills that we ended up paying about $795 as our portion of repair on that gas pump out at the county shop. So we're taking a look at that. We had some discussions regarding Cheyenne River Sanitation and their last week of service. Also discussed the extent of work that may be needed at the depot electrical panel, and whether or not, it'd still be determined whether or not that'll be covered under insurance. insurance. Our meeting adjourned at 2:30, and the next meeting will be Monday, February 1st, 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center. Did I catch everything?
I got a question, I guess. When you said you're talking about leasing space out of that big heated hangar, I kind of thought that space was dedicated for that seat-based plane in the summertime.
The seaplane, no, it's not dedicated to the seaplanes.
Well, that's how that thing was built, with money from that.
The,
I guess I'm wondering how you can rent out their space.
they're not paying,
I know they're not, but the reason that hangar came about was because of money from a grant for that.
believe that that has to be a revenue generating hangar, which it is. And right now there's, it's being leased to individual plane owners.
Used to be they got kicked out though when hail season came around when we had seat base.
And Seek isn't using it.
So where they hanging that plane?
They are,
Trust me, that thing ain't sitting outside in the storm.
no, they leave and go, I think, either to Shadron or Rapid.
They're doing part of their time in Shatter and part of their time in Rapid City. We don't have Jet A capabilities to fuel them.
They don't take Jet A. And my point is, that building was built for that airplane basically with a grant. I guess I'm a little curious how we kicked them out of their own hangar.
We haven't kicked them out of they haven't utilized.
That grant was to build that hangar for that plane.
The airport manager and the advisory board have been in discussion with the FAA and the South Dakota DOT and our airport engineers regarding these plans. Nothing's been done yet. It's just discussion, and they are involved in the discussion.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
because I'm going to check into this.
Any other questions? Thank you, Bill. Airport Advisory Committee? Bill?
Okay, Airport Advisory Committee met on Thursday, December 31st, 8 a.m. at the airport. Members present were Larry Vetterman, Don Connor, Shane Miller, Petra Wilson, and Ed Jensen. City employees present were Tracy Bastian and Ivan Venner. Elected officials present were Bob Nelson and myself. Just gave you an update on the discussions with Advanced Aerotech on the commercial space. Next, KLJ have reported that the soil borings report came back good for the hangar design project. Charlie Baker is our new KLJ contact, and there will be a meeting later in January to discuss any design issues for our T-hangar project. We've been notified by South Dakota Aeronautics regarding the governor's desire to reinstate the state's portion of airport funding projects. If approved, this will reduce the city's portion of future AIP funded projects. The committee discussed hangar rental agreements and took an action to review and submit proposed revised hangar rental agreement terms to the council. We'll be working on that over the next few months. In December, we had 60 flight operations and we sold 668 gallons of aviation fuel. And we've got about 285 gallons of diesel fuel on hand, both in the plow and in the tank. The airport manager has completed an inventory of major items, and there's 25 major items have been identified and logged. Ivan's also continuing to work on a revised layout and plan for the Balloon Festival. This plan will enhance safety and accommodate the growing popularity of this event. An additional airport courtesy car may soon be available thanks to a donation. This car is currently being inspected by the city mechanic and if found to be acceptable, The donation will be accepted and the donation form will be processed and an information copy will be sent to the council as the value is less than $5,000. Mayor Nelson inquired about the progress of getting a member on the advisory committee from the glider community. No member has been nominated yet, but one is actively being sought. The meeting adjourned at 9:25 a.m. and our next meeting will be Thursday, January 28th, 8 a.m. at the airport.
Questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Larry?
Next meeting of the Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District will be January 14th at 7 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Historic Preservation, Deborah?
The next meeting is this Wednesday, January 6th, 5 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Larry?
The next meeting will be January 14th at 12 noon at the Plunge.
Thank you. Parks, Recreation, Beautification, and Cultural Development, Wes?
Next meeting will be Wednesday here at 3 o'clock. This Wednesday.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Caitlin?
Our next meeting is Wednesday, January 20th at 6 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Public Safety, Bill and JR?
Next meeting is Wednesday, January 20th, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Public Works, Craig?
We did not have a meeting. Our next meeting's at 12 at 1 o'clock.
Thank you. Southern Hills Economic Development, JR?
I did not have a meeting with Andrea, however, she would like to be put on the agenda for the next council meeting for a quarterly update.
Thank you. She's taking a note.
Trying to figure out when the next public safety meeting's supposed to be, the 13th or the 20th?
20th.
That's what I had too, but Don thought maybe the 13th.
My calendar says the 13th.
20th.
Misty, and then I'd like to have you add Andrea Powers for Southern Hills Development. Next council meeting is a quarterly update.
Great. Perfect.
Thanks.
And the Southern Hills Golf Course Advisory Committee, that's on pause until the course opens back up. Which brings us to the Finance Officer report. Misty?
Thank you, Mayor. The financial reports are missing the investment report just due to timing. And the reports that you have in front of you are through the 30th of December. They do not include all 2020 entries and are not final 2020 numbers. I give you a summary regarding the modified accrual accounting and what that means for the city. We recognize revenues when they become available and measurable, and we record expenditures when the liabilities are incurred. So we continue to post revenues in 2020 into 2021, and then pay expenses from 2020 into 2021. Typically, we hope to have those all collected and paid within 30 days at the end of the year. That's always the goal. You'll continue to see accounts payable batches. Well, I can't go much farther than the middle of February, but as long as we are getting invoices that generated in 2020 before I finalize the reports, which are due to you in May, we try to pay them in the correct period. So it takes a while before you see final 2020 numbers, and that's because of the modified accrual accounting. Once again, we'll be using Cato Thorstensen to complete our required annual audit. They do an excellent job for the city. We talked about them a little bit in admin finance. We had a 3-year agreement with them. And so I believe it's very beneficial to work with a firm that knows our processes, our reports, and our software, and I do enjoy the relationship we have with them, so hope to continue to do that. And this back to current claims, you approved the 2021 approved budgeted donations. The payments were $10,000 to the Boys and Girls Club, $5,000 to Prairie Hills Transit, $10,000 to Shedco, $4,000 to the Hot Springs Senior Meals Program, $3,000 to the Hot Springs Senior Citizens Center, and then the annual payment made to Fall River County Dispatch for $55,000. The Volunteer Fire Department receives monthly remittances for their total 2021 subsidy amount of $90,000. These are made and paid in the bills in between batches that you approve monthly. If anybody has any questions about the timing or amounts of these payments, just let me know. I've completed the journal entries required to book and record the effects of the Evans Plunge bond refunding. This included updating the amount of bonds payable, which is a debt, recording the effects of the bond premium, which is a credit, that'll be reduced each year by the total amount divided by the term. We added accrued interest expense through the payoff of the old issue, added the costs of debt issuance as an expense, and adjusted the balances in the debt service reserve fund, which is an asset. I explained the additional 125 subsidy motion on this agenda. This transfer corrects any negative cash balance for year-end reporting. I continue to track and report the impacts of the pandemic on revenue collection throughout the city, and I summarize those in all the ways I have previously. We also talked about this reporting in the admin finance meeting today, and I'm not going to continue to report on it in this manner. We've been through an entire year. We know what it did to us in 2020. We're going to move forward with 2021. If there's any specific questions, I can answer them at any time. But I'm not going to summarize it in my monthly finance report in this way. We continue to submit our remaining requests for the COVID Recovery Fund, or CRF dollars, that were issued to us by the state. We'll continue to submit those reimbursement requests for expenses which include payroll through 12/30/20. As a reminder, the next meeting will be on Tuesday, not Monday. Monday the 18th is Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, and city offices will be closed, so we will meet as a council on Tuesday the 19th. Thank you for all you do. I'm looking forward to another year of growth and progress in the city of Hot Springs. Thank you.
Any questions for Misty? Thank you, Misty. John, City Administrator report.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2021. Looking forward to a lot of new, exciting projects being developed and coming to fruition this year. Got a rather short report this time because I've been on vacation exploring the northern hills of South Dakota. Our streets, maintenance, parks, and utilities department have continued work with Diesel on removing cattails from the Fall River Channel. They completed the inspection of the fiber optic contract repairs, which was signed off as satisfactory. Utilities have responded to water leaks at the PRB, at the golf course, and routine sewer repairs. The entire team responded to a snow event on the holidays. I've continued to follow up inquiries and public notices for the 2 RFPs that were approved at the last council meeting. We're going to continue exploring cost savings options with the Black Hills Energy rates for Evans Plunge, as well as the Mueller Center, which was mentioned earlier. We went through this process with the wastewater treatment plant, and the rate was adjusted due to a pump rate, which was a gutter rate, where that was where most of our consumption of energy was at, was those 24/7 pumps. We're continuing discussions and negotiations with Sander Sanitation that we got today to create a smooth transition with our emergency garbage contract. I want to say I do appreciate Sander Sanitation's cooperation with the city based upon the unique circumstances and conditions of this one-year emergency contract. Lastly, Evans Plunge has got a planned new schedule for January 2021. Where they can keep the staffing up and not COVID out. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they're going to split hours from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then they'll have another segment from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays will remain at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Watch Facebook for any changes. They will be posted daily at the RE. Thank you.
Any questions for John? Thank you, John. I have just a single topic to discuss with you folks tonight or to report on. Because the council approved the amended 2021 emergency garbage service contract with Sanders Sanitation tonight, I want to talk a little bit about the reason for the change in the city's garbage hauler. The previous contractor, Fall River Sanitation, asked the council to let them out of their existing contract a year early on December 31, 2020. The council approved that request at their December 7th council meeting. The city then needed to find a new hauler to provide garbage service until December 31, 2021 for both municipal solid waste and recyclable materials. With the amendment to the Sanders Sanitation contract approved by council, the cost for municipal solid waste will go from $10.34 per container to $12.34 per container, a $2 per container increase. The cost for the recycling containers will go from $4.07 per container to $3.98 per container, a slight decrease. The existing recycling containers have been picked up by Fall River Sanitation, but they will be replaced by Sanders Sanitation beginning this week. The billing process will remain the same, but reflect the increase for municipal solid waste and a small reduction of the cost for recyclable materials. If you experience any bumps in the road during the transition from Fall River Sanitation to Sanders Sanitation, please call City Hall at 745-3135. Once the transition from Fall River Sanitation to Sanders Sanitation is complete, the contact for garbage-related issues will be Sanders Sanitation, and their number is 605-673-3174. So again, any garbage-related problems after the transition, once Sanders is up and running completely, any garbage-related issues need to be dealt with Sanders Sanitation. Their phone number is 605-673-3174. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?